It's like
One.
all our friends, community, right?
What's up, everyone? We are live
Hey,
here with the Trainman Report. It is episode 25. That is halfway to episode 50. That's a lot of episodes. They're all over on YouTube. They're all over on Alex's Facebook if you really want to scroll, but really just go to YouTube and they're a lot more conveniently located there for you and your viewing pleasure. Leave some comments. You can get some fun, exciting things like what did we say about bike paths? What did Sue Montgomery say when she was on the show? Get some Joel shoes. I should know how to say that by now. Our
Chaushu,
local
Chaushu,
Chao get
Chaushu.
his
Yeah, I've been
perspectives
practicing
from the
that in the mirror.
suburban. I have not. And
Terrible
this is
names,
a
by the
live
way, but
show. We're here
I
every
do make an effort.
Tuesday, 6 p.m. We're here to talk to you, NDG, about
On time.
NDG with NDG people such as Jane Critchlow that is joining us today, which is real exciting. My name is
Very
Holden
exciting.
Stefan Roy, and we have Alex, the Trainman Montagano himself, over there in uniform. Even though
Choo
word on the
choo.
street is his wife makes fun of him every time he puts that on. So
Yes, she does.
over to
She
you,
does. She
Alex.
does not like the train man gig.
Kirk Bennett on Facebook says, "Great to see you, Alex."
Thank you so much. So, diving in right away. May's a huge month for NDG. As you know, we got PorchFest next week, and this is why we got Jane on the show. She's going to talk about that. And the weekend after is the NDG Art Hop, in which I participate. So my nerdy train art will be on display, and you can finally find out why people call me Train Man. And next weekend, I'm already in full Train Man mode because I can be. Because the art and the modeling gives me the license. And I also, what I've done is I've built a train trike, which is basically a tricycle train. So I'll be patrolling the PorchFest and passing out flyers and maps to the art hop. So I hope you can join us, and most importantly, I hope you can be there for the art hop because it's going to be a blast. So I just want to start the show by saying, one of the primary reasons that I invited Jane to join us today is because she's just a nice, kind-hearted person. Obviously an NDGer, and there are those people that stand out for their kind souls, and Jane's one of them. The other one I'm gonna give a plug for another kind. So I was gonna give a plug out for Lynn Parsons. She's also another person who just has this beautiful, good-natured spirit like you do, Jane, and always reminding us, be kind, don't judge. Life is complicated. You don't know what other people are going through. And it seems to me that's your mantra as well, isn't that, Jane? I get that aura from you. So saying that, right? One of the things we open up the show, right, is we try to discover and share who the guest is. For example, were you like, what's your origin story? Were you born in NEG? Are you like, you organic here? How did you get to NEG? Tell us your story.
Okay, well, that's a really long story, but I'll give you the short version. So,
Excellent.
no, I wasn't born here, actually. I'm not an NDG native. I was born in London, England, and
Okay.
spent my childhood in England. We moved down to the southwest coast near, it's Somerset, Devonshire, Cornwall area, but spent lots of time in London. And I'm of Irish origin. My mum's family comes from Dublin, and dad as well, from what I hear. And finally, we emigrated to Canada, ended up in Ontario, tons of places in Ontario, New Brunswick, went to high school in New Brunswick for my last 3 years. And my family stayed in the Maritime provinces. And after living in Fredericton for a few years, I just felt like I was ready for a change. And so I traveled across Canada, ended up in Vancouver. You're getting the short version.
It's a
And
big story, that's for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Lots of
And then
mobility.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then finally ended up in Montreal. Met someone, typical story. Met
Mm,
someone in Vancouver from Montreal, and I moved here in my 20s. Lived here in my 20s. Had a little bit of a career musically. With At that point, I was really into, I guess, what you would call new wave, because it was the 80s,
Right,
and
right. I know that period very well.
yeah, I
Yeah.
did some of that music. I was punk for a short period of time as well, and was really into sort of
Fun
the independent
electric.
music scene. And then I left. I left and traveled a little more. Ended up living in Aylmer for a couple of years, and then came back to Montreal. Very different situation as a single mom, basically, with two very young children. And that was about 20 years ago, 20 odd years ago, and have stayed.
That's an awesome story. Yeah.
When you got back to Montreal, did you come right to NDG? Is that where you landed?
I did indeed. What I did was I was in the Ottawa region and I researched schools for my kids. I remember loving NDG, wanted them to have a special kind of culture and a particular type of school, and I found it in NDG. And so I actually traveled to come to the open house at the school that my kids went to, went back, packed them up, brought them back to NDG.
Which school was it?
It was Willingdon.
Excellent. Excellent. That's a great story. Wow. So I'm hearing like connections there to my past. You're a Gen Xer like I am, I'm guessing. And
Alex, we're not supposed to always go there with the age. We're not always supposed to.
Why not?
Okay.
Social norms. I don't make the rules, Alex.
Please.
Okay, no worries. Alex, let's go with Gen X. Okay. Yeah,
okay, all right. Yeah, because you said the new wave punk, right? So I'm thinking, when I was a young man, the big places were like the Fou Fun La Trick with Blue Mondays, if you remember correctly. Yeah. That was the big punk bar. There was Thunderdome. That was huge. I don't know. Was that Thunderdome before your time, or you remember Thunderdome?
I remember Thunderdome. Yeah,
okay.
That wasn't typically a place that I hung out. I was at Fufun a lot. I spent a lot of time at Fufun. I played at Station 11.
Right.
I played the Spectrum.
Station 10 or Station 11?
Station 10.
Station
10.
Yeah.
Station 11 is actually that's an amazing sci-fi book. But no, Station 10. Sorry.
Okay.
And I played at the Spectrum. I opened for In Excess back in the 80s.
Wow.
And,
that's a cool gig.
Yeah,
wow.
It was.
Wow.
It was.
So, Holden, since you're so much younger than us.
Alex, I'm not that much younger than I'm closer to you than I am to the young kids.
I'm sorry. I just had to.
I just want you to know how old you
are.
That shot
there after that Gen X comment of yours.
Alex, I brought this up in private chats like 12 hours ago. It has nothing to do with this podcast. We got Forever Preach on Twitch being like, In Excess was great. And just, people are watching live. So shut up, Preach, for being there. Shut up for Kirk for being there. And if you're watching this in the future, 6 p.m. is Tuesday's Trainman Report with Alex the Trainman Montagano.
Tell your friends about it. Yeah, tell your neighbors.
If you want to come plug your stuff.
Yeah, and if you're interested in being on the show and discussing whatever it may be, it could be community, cultural, artistic, politics, economics. We even had a professor from McGill who talked about light speed travel, which was really cool, by the way.
Yeah.
So moving along, that's a really good origin story. I like that. Clearly you're someone who's traveled the world. I always feel that traveling is a great way to get a perspective, right? Like different cultures, different ways of living. It really opens up the horizons, I feel. And I would encourage everybody to do that as much as possible. But don't travel to resorts, guys. That's nice, right? For 2 weeks. But I'm not talking resort travel. I'm talking about, going out there and eating like Anthony Bourdain, right? That street food restaurant, right? That intimidates you. Get outside your comfort zone. And that's kind of preachy on my part. I get it, but hey, I think it's important to live a little, right? So moving on.
And I think that relates to the kindness aspect, because kindness, the way that I view kindness is that you're putting yourself obviously in someone else's shoes. And our travel and our experience in life leads us to become more empathetic to people. And so it's almost easy in a sense. I mean, kindness is a choice, right? Kindness very often is a choice. It's not necessarily that we're born this way. It's something that we choose. It's a way to live your life. It's a type of lifestyle in a sense. And that, I think, things like travel really help us to get there.
That's interesting you bring that up. Is this something like, have you thought of this? Like, the idea of what it is to be kind and how to apply that in your life? Is that something that you've is this an intellectual exercise that you've engaged in? Please tell.
Absolutely,
You
it
have all
is.
these books behind you, so is that part of the puzzle as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, but this I'm not at home. This is not my library,
Oh,
but
okay, okay,
Oh,
okay.
I was like,
I
did
No,
you?
do. I
That's
do.
I'm
so
so
impressive.
disappointed now, you know?
Yeah, but you know what? I do have a library at home, and it's actually a wall of books as well. But this one is
Okay.
not mine.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah,
Um,
back on the kindness, the exercise. Talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think, as I say, I think it's a choice that you make. I mean, because it's not always a simple choice either. I mean, some people are naturally kind, and
Hmm.
that might be me to some degree or not. I don't think that's, my position to say, but I think that you can cultivate kindness. It's a type of thing that you make conscious decisions to become, and I've
Hmm.
definitely taken that on in my life. I don't want to get into too many details, but I'm certainly from the kind of the school of hard knocks. I've had a lot of really, really tough things happen to me, and tough situations, abusive situations, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that there are many, many ways, the things that happen to us in life, there are two paths that we can take. And to a certain degree, when we're capable, because not everybody's capable of making those decisions, um, I think it's important to, whenever you can, choose to kind of give back to the people who helped you, or call out, or just be the person that you weren't necessarily brought up to be, or if that makes any sense.
Oh, absolutely. I'm listening to you, and my synaptic, my brain's firing, and because I grew up in a pretty hard knock. It was a tough. It wasn't a very howdy supportive environment, and kind of negative. And I see that in my life. Sometimes I internalize things, and what gets punched out, it works and gets negative, right? And I feel that um, if I make the conscientious decision, I'm going to make an effort to be positive and to be funny and engage people. It builds upon itself, right? You kind to people. You crack jokes, you make them smile. I always like to make people smile. It's always kind of my
Mm.
thing, right? If I can make them laugh, I feel like I've accomplished something small and something beautiful, right? And the next time you see this person who made you laugh, you can see when they see you, their eyes like go up, they brighten a bit because the last time they saw you was a positive experience. Whereas if I'm in business and there's also a lot of negative things that happen in my industry. I'm in the construction business, right? So it can get pretty rough. I can tell you. And the problem is if you get stuck in this negative, like, feedback loop, it just feeds on itself. So, and
Mm.
you can go to a dark place pretty quick.
Yeah, it sure can. And
Yeah,
it's almost, and I'm not sort of directing this comment at you
right.
personally,
But
but
you
it
can.
becomes,
I won't be
but it,
offended.
I'll get you later.
All right. Fair enough.
But it becomes, it's easy, an example is like all the shit that we see online. I mean, what's
Yeah.
happening online, all the comments and all the
Oh,
it sort of does self feed, and it is so easy. Like, I think that's what I mean when I say that we kind of have a choice. It's so
Mm.
easy to say something horrid. It's so easy to say something really negative. It's so easy to put someone down. The opposite is really a choice that you make, and you don't get the same necessarily dopamine hit. That's so easy to make that horrid comment, and
That
and
is a
I think
really
that,
good dopamine hit.
yeah,
If
it
we're
yeah,
being
is.
honest, it's a good one. Like, whereas the kindness one is
Yeah,
maybe not
but
as good of
exa-
a hit.
but
exactly.
but
It's
but
not gonna give you that
Especially
same
because you
that
can't
same
even
hit.
brag about kindness, or it stops being like a kindness thing. It's all got it, like, in my opinion, like when you're really being kind about it, like there's a humility that comes with it. So if you start like flexing on your kindness, it's just not really perceived in a good way. Whereas you can at least flex about being a jerk and get away with that. Anyway,
yeah,
I'm not
and say,
justifying bad behavior. I actually think, especially in music, it's an industry of hospitality, right? Like, at the end of the day, and it's your obligation to make the people that you're ultimately selling tickets and creating art for feel welcome. So what Jane is saying is like really big words to live by if you're trying to make it as an artist or any kind of really community member dealing with people.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have to make an admission that in the early days when I was engaged in the social media space, I have to admit, there were times where um I was saying things and engaging people, and I in ways that really weren't that productive, that were giving me that, dopamine hit we talk about. What I find now is that I've totally moved away from that. I'm ashamed and some regret some of my online behavior in the past. I own that, right? But I think that what happens when you're kind and you ignore the negativity, the toxicness online, I think what happens is over time, the payback is there. But it's not an instant gratification kind of thing. The return is slower, but it's more gratifying and it's kind of more whole. Does that make any sense? Whereas the
It,
Yeah.
dopamine is this
yeah,
quick high. It's like
yeah.
you're getting this trip and you got to keep on doing it to keep on going and you're never
Yeah.
satisfied. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, it absolutely makes sense. And, to a certain degree, like kindness isn't necessarily cool, like it's
Right.
not got a cool factor to it. And it's something that, yeah, absolutely over time you can build that up. But I would go even one level beyond that. And I
Mm,
would say that, and this reminds me of an anecdote that I have, and that is that when I was teaching refugees and immigrants, and so I had one of these students was telling me, who had just arrived from another country, and was saying, it's really important that we're kind we have to be kind to others. We have to help others because God or Allah or whatever it was will reward us in the afterlife. And I didn't say it to this new student, but I'm thinking, well, is that the reason to be kind? Is it because of a payback? Is it because does it have to have a reward to it? Can it not simply be kind for the sake of being kind? Can we
excellent
not
point.
get can we not get
Excellent point.
away
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, as I said, it's not cool. It's not something that you necessarily talk about. You can live your life in obscurity and be kind, right? But does it
I,
In
necessarily
fact,
need the
arguably, a lot
reward?
of the kindest people are pretty obscure because they like I said, people don't really talk about their kind deeds. So you don't really know the levels and depths of kindness people do. Like, and beyond the low key charity junkies, like I'm saying, people be out there really putting work into the community. Like, we've had so many guests on the show, like the lady with the cat reel homing and stuff, and like just people who've taken on these passion projects that like
volunteered their time.
even Irwin and his bike path, like that dude's going in properly with due diligence and research and stuff. Like, these are people that are really passionate for their causes and are really sacrificing for what they perceive to be the greater good. And that's an act of kindness in and of itself, where it's not really about the glory and vanity, whereas negative stuff maybe is a little bit more, can be skewed in that way. Either way, the kindness talk is super cool, but maybe we should move on a little bit from
PorchFest.
that.
I do
Yeah.
have one. I just have one disagreement to make. That it was stated in
Okay.
the show, right, which I disagree with. That kindness is not cool, and I take objection to that because I will tell you that on the whole, I would say the vast majority of people who are NEG are kind, and you know what, NEG, you are cool. So there, okay. I made my little pitch there, okay. So
what Alex is saying is we're no longer no damn good.
yes. We have to find another acronym for what NDG stands. Nice, good. I don't know. Do-gooders? Nah, that's not good. I don't know.
I'll work on it.
We'll work on it. We'll get back.
No,
We'll get back.
do-gooders is not it. Like,
Yeah, that's double good.
Saying
It doesn't work.
kindness is cool, is dope. Like, 'cause kind people, whatever. But let's not like be cheesy with kindness being cool. Like, we're already playing with fire.
Hey, I'm dressed as Trainman. I'm as cheesy as you can possibly get.
Unapologetically. You are.
I'm like
you are.
I'm over the top. Have you seen the train trike yet?
That your confidence is very cool, and the way that you put yourself out there to the world is very cool.
There's nothing more cheesy than me, I tell you that much.
That you own it
Sometimes
like a
I'm
champion.
embarrassed myself.
Ooh, never deny growth. That's what Preach just dropped in the comments. I like that. Never deny growth.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving on, because the show, not all was great talk track, by the way. Awesome. Thank you for that, Jane. But moving on, let's talk about PorchFest. You're participating in that event. We had Dave Lazar on the show talk to us about what PorchFest was, kind of really this organic, like, musical celebration NEG where you kind of ride around in your bike. You can take your car too, or walk for that matter. I'm privy to cycling.
I'm gonna be driving.
Yeah. And I'm going to be on my train trike there, Holden. So, just stay out of my way.
I got a 50 or like a 30-pound speaker that I got to get from point A to point B.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So enough yapping on my part. You're in the band, you're participating in a band called the Black Alley Roots Band, but that's not the only thing you're doing. You're actually participating in some other Celtic group, like vocals
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
so
Yes.
talk to us about that. This is so cool. Like history background. Do you know how to play a musical instrument? Talk to us.
Well, I'm basically a vocalist, so a singer, but I do percussion as well. So with Back Alley Roots Band, I play the snare, I play the jazz brushes, I play the cajon, the cajon instrument. That's very percussive as well, and a whole bunch of percussion instruments. And that's Back Alley Roots Band. In my choir, Celtic choir, mouth music, I occasionally play the bodhrán. The bodhrán is the Irish drum. It's the
Right?
Irish talking drum. You put your hand on the back of the skin, and you move your hand, and you put pressure on it, and it makes all kinds of amazing sounds. And in my Celtic quartet, Sassenach, we're a kind of I would say like what's the word? I'm losing my word. Anyway, we have violin, we have harp, we have cello, and I sing, and there's 3-part harmony with that too. So that's my third band, and I'm also in a jazz quartet, Cobb's Cats. And
And
am I missing anything?
you sing in the jazz quartet?
I do.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so cool.
yeah, we had a gig last night actually at the Thomas More Institute on Atwater, and a gig downtown at a hotel. But the principal ones are my Celtic group, Sassenach. We just released a CD in December, and Back Alley.
What kind of music is that? You talked about vocal something. What's that all about?
Yeah, well, the Sassenach is the Celtic. It's sort of like chamber quartet because there's cello and there's violins, but then the drum comes in, and so we play these really kind of upbeat songs, and we play a lot of Irish and Scottish songs, but it's original compositions as well. Just about everybody writes in the group. I don't write. I don't write yet, but of course we write all the arrangements. So I contribute to the arrangements of the songs.
How many people are in this group? How many?
That's 4. Yeah, that's 4.
For the Irish. That's the Irish Celtic group that you're
Yeah,
in.
that's the Celtic exactly. The Celtic quartet called Sassenach, which means
Right.
stranger or intruder.
You said quartet. I kind of missed that. Sorry. You said that before. Yeah, that's 4. Sorry about that.
That's a giveaway, but that's okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And Back Alley Roots Band is we're all NDGers. We're a trio. We're all NDGers. There's Roger Hoy on stand-up bass, upright bass, but he also plays an electric bass, and Larry Cassini on guitars, and me again on the snare drum and cajon, and 3-part harmony as well. And so Back Alley Roots Band are going to be playing on Sunday, 19th at 3 p.m. And mouth music, the Celtic choir, led by Linda Morrison, we're playing at 12 noon on Sunday the 19th. And
So is the choir different than the quartet?
It is.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
another project you're involved
Yeah.
in. That. And how many people are in this choir?
The choir, it's between 25 and 30, depending on
that's
the
a
season.
big group. That's huge.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's less than 30 this time around, but yeah, we have quite a few people.
That must make quite a sound when there's like 25 people singing at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we sing all kinds of Celtic music, Scottish, Manx from the Isle of Man, Welsh, Breton from Brittany, Irish, Scots, Gaelic, Gaelic, all kinds of different languages. Lots of fun.
So how did you
That's wild. How do
Yeah,
you
that is wild.
end up like singing in 7 languages in a choir? Like I guess, yeah. How does your musical journey kind of lead up to being in PorchFest or whatnot? Because I know you said you were in a punk band before, and now you're kind of doing some wildly different genres.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess basically my tastes are really eclectic. Like I've always loved music across the board. I grew up listening to jazz, blues, roots, classical, you name it, rock, pop. It doesn't matter. Like I grew up listening to everything, and I've always had an interest. I can't narrow it down to one field. I mean, it's music. It's good regardless of the genre. There's good music in every single genre, in my opinion. Doesn't matter what it is.
Agreed.
And why limit yourself? I've just got so many interests, and also I think it depends on the type of voice you have. I'm speaking as a singer, of course. The type of voice I have half lends itself well to Celtic music. Plus, of course, the fact that I'm Irish. I discovered that I was Irish. I was adopted as a kid, and I discovered this entire family that I have in Ireland and the diaspora all over the world. I've got like relatives and everything. So it was kind of fun discovering Irish music at that point. I'd always been really drawn to it, and I didn't know why. And then, I kind of found out about the Irish connection.
Do you feel that you have a genetic disposition to singing Irish music?
I absolutely do.
Oh,
I
yeah?
don't know if it's a genetic predisposition to Irish music, but definitely to singing. And when I heard, for example, the Chieftains, say the Women of Ireland song, that just blew me out of the water. I thought it touched me so deeply, so profoundly that there was some kind of connection there. Absolutely.
Awesome. So, Holden, you asked an awesome question, and I want to carry on that question. Like, have you received musical training? You said you had a small career in music. How did you get here? Like, it seems to me that your repertoire, of musical taste and your skill set's quite advanced. So, I know I'm a terrible musician. I did play trombone. It's just awful.
Word is, though, you might be a DJ that's really skilled, but I don't know.
No, I don't know. So talk to us about that. Thanks for the plug there, Holden.
Yeah, well, I hear your DJ skills are pretty
I don't know.
On par.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, as far as the music goes, well, I did, I wasn't trained as a kid, had no access to lessons at all. So that didn't happen in the family. In my 20s, I decided to go to McGill and learn how to read music because it was an interest I had. Only in my 20s is when I kind of discovered this love of music, really. So I took, what they call theory and solfège courses where you actually learn how to sight read. And I did a little bit of that. I picked up guitar. In my high school, one year I joined the band and I played upright bass. Never went anywhere, didn't continue with it. Always dropped everything that I would start a project and then drop it. Never really took it seriously until much, much later. In fact, when the girls were grown up, they're in their late 20s now, my girls. Mid to late 20s, and now I'm taking the music far more seriously. I'm taking cajon lessons at Centre des Musiciens du Monde, which is a fabulous center for music. I learned the boron. I've had workshops with boron players in Ireland and other places around the world. So I'm kind of now at this late stage in the game. I'm taking music as seriously as I can because it's I've got time now, and I've got the passion is still there. So I'm just kind of making the most of it while I can.
Yeah, I just think everybody needs to hear what she just said. She let her kids grow up and everything and then decided to go hard on music. Like, I don't know what anybody's talking about how 30's too old for music or anything like that, because these are conversations that float around. She waited till her kids grew up and then went hard and is part of, 3 performances this weekend is what I understood?
Yeah, there's only 2 2 years ago there were 3. 1 year there was 4,
okay.
But this year there's only 2.
Only 2. Only 2. And these are hour-long sets. Awesome. I'm sitting here stressing that's a whole hour. It's a lot of potential places to make a few mistakes, he proves. And
Holden is playing the PorchFest as well. Yeah, he's rapping.
Yeah,
he's rapping.
We're gonna be there Saturday at 12 on Marcel Street. As it's not my porch, I'm not that comfortable saying that word. Marcel. I don't even know how to pronounce that. But
Marcil. It's Marcel. Yeah, Marcel.
Isn't it Marcel? Anyway, so it's over there between Monkland and whatever the other street is, Sherbrooke, Monkland and Sherbrooke, and on some. Shout out Kimberly for putting up a porch. That's dope, because otherwise there's no participating in PorchFest without a porch.
Thank you,
Just for
Kimberly.
the people that don't know, PorchFest is this, it's not local to NDG, a lot of cities will do it, but it's basically a lot of local musicians will go on their porch and perform music in these hour-long sets, and it's this giant coordinated festival across a couple of days.
But it's an NDG, right? It's an NDG thing, right? Okay.
Our thing, but from like as we learn, there's other boroughs that have started taking on PorchFest, and it's definitely other cities have it. Because like when you look at the Instagram, when you go to tag PorchFest NDG, which is a particular handle, you see like every other city's PorchFest. So like
Dave
really,
Lazar was talking about that. Yeah,
it's really huge as like a thing. So even if you end up watching this from some other place, see if your place has like a PorchFest popping. But yeah, it's just people.
No, just come to EG. Doesn't matter. The other ones
if they're like in another country.
And I don't know if you know the history about it. It started in Ithaca, New York, and then it spread to Canada. But what's interesting is the first place in Canada was Belleville, Ontario, which is right up from Ithaca, New York, as the crow flies kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Belleville, NDG. So NDG is the first one in Quebec and also the second one in Canada, if I believe. So
awesome.
Pretty amazing.
Shout out Belleville. I spent a couple of weeks out there near their college for cadet camp. So shout out Belleville, Ontario, for having me for that one little period of life.
And I gotta jump in here and say that at the PorchFest, there's all types of music that's being played there. So
all types.
All types. There's rap music. There's a Radiohead cover band that's going to be playing.
I guarantee you, though, if you like covers or like singy stuff, like choirs and gospels, that's the saturation point. And if you into watching some people playing nostalgia music, bro, you are in for a treat.
Yeah, I went around with my bike last year, and I tell you, it was just a hoot. You would watch a show and finish it, get on your bike, go to the next show, and it was just it was a great time. Big crowds too. It's big crowds in the sense that it makes an animated experience, right? It makes it nice. Yeah.
It's 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. This upcoming Saturday, the 18th and the 19th, both days. And should it rain, some stuff might get postponed until the Monday. That being said, it'll be fun. Lots of people there. And so Alex.
Yeah, and I'll be on my train trek.
Hope we're going to see you. Hope you drop by.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be. Are you going to see me at some point? That's for sure. I usually start when it starts, and I just kind of follow my ears, if I could use that expression. Not my nose, my ears. Get it? All right. So following on, we're talking about the PorchFest, your participation, and your musical taste. So you said it's when later in life you got into it really intensely, and now you're part of multiple groups. That's just great. So and we talked about the different places that you're going to play at. But what's also very intriguing about this interview, Holden, is that, as you know, Holden, one of his signature marks is that he dislikes pickles. He hates them, right?
It's a real. I see. This is like a whole chain,
right,
with my pickle emblem on it, of which you can see we've got merchandise available.
Yeah, it's got merch.
So if you see
it's
me,
got pickle
you can just
merch.
have this anti-pickle pin that's for the people out there that dislike pickles. As you can see, he's a dead pickle. He's not a happy pickle. He's not alive anymore. I know. A 5-year-old pointed out, aren't pickles already dead? Fair enough. But he's a dead pickle. And for those of you that do like pickles, we also do have a happy alive pickle for those of you that want to support the pickle cause. But we really about this anti-pickle life.
You mean
which one do you give away more, the anti-pickle or the pro pickle?
I mean, mostly it's I've sold it, but anti-pickle 100%. Because here's the thing: people who like pickles bully people who don't like pickles. This is a fact
exactly
of life.
What I do.
You'll walk in and you'll be like, I don't want no pickles on my double cheeseburger. And they'll be like, how could you not want pickles? Get your extra pickles and give them to me. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bro, I'm 36. Allow me to not like pickles in peace. I feel like it's, for all the talk about respecting people's choices, somehow when it comes to pickles, that's thrown out the window. And it's ridiculous to me. And so the truth is, people who don't like pickles all feel very similar, and they get engaged in the passion and feel the need to represent their dislike of pickles, because we are constantly affronted with the globalized movement of people who love pickles. There might be entire European countries who do not fuck with what I'm saying, but that is okay, because people will spend money to show their hatred of pickles. And then, so when I get inventory, it's going to be always more on the anti-pickle. But then you need to have the pro pickle stuff for the people that just want to support you. And that's it. It's just the people who want to support me that buy the pro pickle stuff. They don't care about the message. It's just, this is for the anti-pickle people.
We need.
Well, I haven't actually met too many people who hate pickles.
Jane hates pickles.
It's like 1 in 3.
What? I hate pickles, and I'm
Deadass.
treated like I'm crazy for hating pickles.
That's
you know?
true. You are crazy.
See? Treated like I'm crazy. This is why we are in this situation where it's, but nobody ever really talks about it.
It's like people who drink black coffee, right? We know they're all psychotic, right?
I mean, I drink black coffee. I don't know about that. But.
Oh my God, now I'm scared. You don't like pickles and you drink black coffee. Oh my God. That's like, this is a very big concern of mine.
Listen, like pickles ruin burgers and stuff. So like when a pickle is on a burger, you can't take the pickle off. You take the pickle off, but everything around it has like pickle sauce that it is now tainted the entire burger experience. And you can't remove it. It's like, I swear, I rap about this in a song I'll be performing on Saturday, and it came true. Like, I wrote this stuff, I put it out, then I got a chicken burger, and I forgot to say no pickles. I couldn't even finish the chicken burger because that soury pickle taste is just on the bottom, soaked into the bun and everything. You can't get rid of it. That's the problem with pickles. It's not just like, oh, take it off. It's not possible. I digress. Alex is like, this is farther than I wanted this to go.
No, it's exactly where I wanted to go. Actually, I was going to ask Jane if she related to this pickle kind of like dilemma of yours, or this. Do you feel, Jane? Do you feel that as a pickle hater that you're targeted and people profile you when you order food at restaurants?
Pickle discrimination.
People, like, it sounds so ridiculous until you see the truth.
I could appreciate, like for example, if you show up at, one of the Snowden Deli and you order a smoked meat sandwich, and the server goes to you, would you like a pickle with that? You go, no, I hate pickles. I can see how they go, what? How can
but you don't even. It's not like that, Alex. It's not how it goes. You just go. No, I wouldn't like pickles, please. And your friends start roasting you and giving you commentary.
It's like it's supposed to happen that way, Roland. You just need to accept it. Alrighty, you guys are not happy with me.
No, this is great. I'm plugging my shit. Y'all can buy that pickle stuff. See? Sweater, everything. We ready to go. I even got 2 purple fanny packs in the car for sale at any time.
But saying that, are you going to have merch, anti-pickle merch at your rap show?
Always. No, if you see me, something's for sale on my person in my fanny pack. I carry these. That's why I have these buttons, stickers, fridge magnets, little items. And then if you do want like other clothing items, that's available too. Sometimes that'll be on my person, sometimes not. But like there's always something that you can cop to show your hatred of pickles. Plus BehindThatSuit.com has everything available. If you really want it hollow, we could figure it out. But honestly, at PorchFest, we're raising money for, I believe it's Women on the Rise. So while I'll have stuff available and I might throw stuff into the crowd, I will not be really pushing the sales of my own product at something that's a charity event that I'm supposed to be raising money for other people at, because that just feels ethically complicated to me.
But what about you, Jane? When you're doing your shows, like obviously, look, we're raising funds for, a charitable cause. It's a noble cause. I think it's important that I point out that everybody participating in the Art Hop, Dave Lazar filled us in on this and the extent of it. The musicians are doing this as volunteers. They're setting up their own equipment. They're not being rented or provided any technical audio support whatsoever. So I think it's important that people who participate and go are spectators, hey, that's a big contribution to make. But I guess as a segue, you're part of these groups, and you said you have released albums. It's also an opportunity to, hey, advertise your craft, right? Are you guys can we buy your CD or your recordings at the PorchFest? Is that going to be available to people?
No, actually, no. I kind of take the stance that it's not the place and the time for it. And if
Okay.
other people want to do that, then that's their shtick, that's their
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
But I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I guess like the positive fallout from it is that we might have people come and see our shows
Right.
or go online, download or do whatever. But we're not out there selling it. It really is, it's for the cause, and the cause is
Right.
Women on the Rise this year. So we'll be passing the bucket, and we want those donations to go to them. We do this for the love of it. I mean, it's music, right? It's music, it's community, it's all those amazing things that we get so much out of it as well. It is very different from the art hop in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, the art hop
So
is
my
is
my
yeah,
second my
different that
follow up
way.
question to Alex's question, because I feel you. It's a charity event. It's a bad look. Like it's just a don't push your brand too heavy. Like push your brand, but don't make it about your money when you're raising money for other people. That's just ethically like a bad look in my opinion. But what about when it's not a charity event? Y'all got CDs and stuff available, everything for sale. How can the people pay you if they watch this and want to put some money into your band's hands?
Right. Okay. And thank you. Thanks for bringing that up. As far as Sassenach goes, we're on Bandcamp. We're on, all the streaming platforms. Sassenach is the Celtic Quartet. That's four people, Alex.
A reminder.
It's not the
And
25-person choir.
Duh.
yeah. But the other group, Back Alley Roots Band,
Yeah, but that's why I was confused because you're talking about the choir when we talked earlier, and that's like choir's 25, 30 people.
right.
So I'm like, I had my wires crossed, which happens often, Sorry. Go ahead. I'm listening. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a very good excuse, Alex.
Yes, it is an excuse. That's what it is.
Yeah, and but a Back Alley Roots Band, we haven't gone into the studio yet. We just formed during COVID, where
Oh,
our name is. We were in the back alley between Harvard and Wilson making music because we needed to be outside and we needed to socialize, and that's how we formed, and that's why we call ourselves the Back Alley Roots Band.
So
The
y'all are just
pandemic.
like neighbors that were like trying to make do with COVID restrictions and just happened to play music living next to each other.
It's neighbors, but my very good friends lived across the street from me at that
Okay.
time, and we got together, and that's how it formed. So yeah, at one point we'll go in the studio, but we're not now. We have a Mariposa gig coming up, so people can come and support us at Mariposa in June. But other than that, maybe at one point we'll get to the studio. But right now for that band, we're just doing live shows.
yeah. I'm going to be the odd man out here, okay? I'm going to say it. I really don't think that I don't really see a big problem with if you're in a band or you have an album that you have that available for people to purchase at the Porch Fest. Your artists you need to at least pay for your instruments and your audio equipment, right?
But
And
like,
I don't
it's
really
a
think that
it's
detracts from the
a
charity drive for the
I
charitable
mean,
causes, right? If someone
it's
wants to
just
buy your music, right?
like let's say
Uh,
you were to sign up for like a food drive somewhere,
yes,
and then you're doing any kind of charity work, right? No matter
right.
what kind of charity work it is, it's a bad
Mm.
look to profit off of that. Just because
I don't
it's
think any
not.
artist is profiting off the Porch
But
Fest.
that's the but because we're all
Right,
agreeing to do this big charity event. It's
right,
like any other celebrity charity event. Like people donate their time and like, yeah, I'm gonna maybe spend $50 on gear myself to go rent some shit for it. But like we're doing it to participate in the community event. Most of the stuff we'll do for shows will be to some degree for profit. So when you are doing like this type of thing where it's specifically about raising money for a charity, any dollar they give to me is not going to that charity then. And it seems like I'm robbing the charity and using this platform that's being designed for the charity to profit. Like it just personally feels wrong
Yeah,
when you agree to do it. Because that's the thing is nobody put a gun to any performer's head and said play Porch Fest. Not one person was forced into this. It is
yeah.
entirely a volunteer basis.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree
Don't
with
I
you,
look
Holt.
bad now?
And Alex, I understand your
No,
point
it's
as well.
fair.
And if some people want to do that, then okay, then let them do that kind of thing. But I figure people come with a limited amount of money on them, right? And so that money, where's that money going to go? Is it going to go to
Fair
us
enough.
to a
Fair
CD or
enough.
to a download, or is it going to go into the charity for the cause?
I get
So
it.
I don't want to divide people on that. I want people to show up with money and donate.
Lots of money. Come on, lots of
Yeah.
money to the Porch Fest.
Because, like, trust, we're going to get marketing points off of it. We're all going to get video content. We're all going to get the assets that we get. Like, it's a good look to play festival type things. Like, there's reasons why we're all doing this that are selfish, despite the altruism in it all. Like,
Selfish.
it's just also fun. Like, how often do you really get to perform broad day to your community on a porch? Like, but, like, yes, you're right, Alex. Musicians should get paid, but also charity is charity.
Artists need to, put food on the table. They need to pay rent, and rent and food got really expensive in the last couple of years. We won't talk about that, right? Because remember, it was announced that I wouldn't be talking about budgetary issues on this show.
Yes, we were trying not to. We can't help it, but we're trying not to.
So I guess in conclusion, I want to thank you, Jane, so much. First of all, for your kindness and giving us that kind of philosophical framework of kindness and how you've applied that to your life. I think that was really enlightening for myself, and I hope it was enlightening for the audience that was listening to this. Thank you for sharing us your passion for the different musical tastes and styles in which you're engaged. I hope that next year you're back on the show. Holden and I trying to build a community program here, and it's an ongoing project, right? It's not going to be created overnight. And every guest that gets on the show, we ask them the same question: please come back again. We want you to talk about the community, the neighborhood, and things change.
Also, tell
and there's
your
always
friends.
Yes, tell your friends. And I also want to remind everybody that, May is a big month. It's a time to get out, meet your neighbors, and participate in community activities. And it's not limited to May, of course, but May, we have the Porch Fest next weekend. And then right after, we're having the Art Hop. And next Tuesday, we're going to have Mona on the show. Mona Rudenberg is a metal artist. And I become her friend. Yeah, she does awesome work. She's been featured in the Gazette, the Suburban. She just had moved into a new studio recently, and things are really going well for her. And she's doing some really creative things. So that's going to be a great show. And also as a reminder, I will be pushing the limits of cheesiness next weekend on my train trek, and I will be there distributing information on the Art Hop, and I was also on the Porch Fest as well. And if you have any questions or you want to talk to me about any things that we do on this show, and you're interested in participating and sharing information, I look forward to talking to you, and I especially look forward to meeting all the kids in NDG, CDNDG. There's a factoid I'm going to share with everybody. Do you know that the borough of CDNDG has more children and more seniors than any other place in the city of Montreal?
That's not that surprising to me.
Yeah,
they like making old people condos and old apartments for retirees, and this is a fun, family-friendly neighborhood. That's why the Porch Fest sets are all family-friendly, and should you participate in my genre of music, vet your set. Kill all those words.
Yes.
So saying that, I'll let you, Holden, sign us off like you usually do in your pickle-hating beauty and celebration of life.
Yeah, no, appreciate all y'all watching, for real. We appreciate having you on the show as well, Jane. To follow and find out where everyone's performing, check out PorchfestNDG.com. They have their interactive map where you can see a bunch of pins, and there is some debate about its readiness, but it's helpful because you can zoom around and see where stuff's going on, and time slots in text form. You could plot out your whole day ahead of time and, stop at the local NDG vendors that are along the way and spend your money in one of the 70 restaurants on Sherbrooke and Monkland or whatever. Homers might not be a good use of your time on Saturday and Sundays, all I'm saying, but shout out Homers. They're very lovely as well.
Got Lim Ice Cream too. They'll be open, I'm sure.
Yeah, but all the places with lines means you're not watching music. So,
Oh, right.
hit up the
Good
quicker
point.
places is
Going,
what I'm
good
saying.
point.
And,
I hear there's gigs outside Encore Records, right, on Sherbrooke, so
That's
you can
lit.
pick up a book, right, and a record at the
And
same time.
also check out Phoenix Books, because shout out Mel, the number one
Yes,
books,
Phoenix.
the number one old bookstore in Montreal, according to Cult Montreal this year. That's right, up at NDG. And she's the homie, so gotta plug her stuff. But yeah, check out
For
all
sure.
the cool local vendors too, because it's like, as much as we're doing the charity thing, our local vendors all need your support too. That's a big part of why these community events happen. That's why all the vendors are cool with the traffic block-ups and congestions and things. But yeah, so if you are watching this and you stuck it out this whole way through, make sure to tell your friends that we exist. We'll be back next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, YouTube, and Alex's Facebook page, shared to Thrive NDG. This is the Trainman Report, where we talk about local NDG stuff. If you want to be on the show, let us know. Appreciate everybody who came through today and commented. It really means the world to us, and we will definitely be back next week. So live long and prosper, everyone out there.
I have to do the Spock thing, right?
Yeah. Well,
Thank you so much. And don't forget, be kind.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
That was awesome.
Just 1
Jane,
second.
are we still off or we're on now? No?
1 second. We're rating out. Now we're off.